Flippin' Soup. I almost shut the video off. My phone was loading up funny, wasn't wanting to take off. But I've been talking a lot about bad habits, overcoming your bad habits, rituals, routines that work for you on eBay, right? But I think in order to realize you have, I know, right? In order to realize you have any bad habits that it might be holding you back from the potential that's actually within you, we all need to practice humility when it comes to reselling, right? There's ways I do that. I know a lot of the times I won't hold myself accountable. I said it in a few videos back. My fiance will ask me, "Did you get your photos done yet? Did you get your listings up? Or your packages done yet?" Things of this nature, right? Because I know deep down inside that there's been times throughout my life that I don't hold myself accountable, right? And I believe that's practicing humility, is sitting down and writing down, what am I doing that is not good on eBay, right? What am I doing? Okay, first of all, you got to have vision of where you want to go. Second of all, you got to know what is holding you back from that vision, right? And that I'm a firm believer that takes true humility. And if you're hard-headed and stubborn, like I've been all my life, I'm still that way in certain aspects of life and my beliefs and things like that. However, over the past 5 years, I have began to start practicing humility in my life, right? This is hence the reason why I say in a lot of my video content that, look, just because I'm trying to positively motivate people, encourage people to keep going and going and going and not giving up, doesn't mean everything out of my mouth is the only correct way to resell. I'm far from naive and I'm far from that hard-headed, right? I have a system that works for me that gets us sales every single day, and it has for the past 700 and some days, right? The past 2 years, we have not had a day that we didn't have sales. Now, have them sales been sporadic at times? Yes, they've been up and down. And the times that has happened, I was not being consistent. So I think it's really very, very important to practice humility with yourself, right? Admit where you're wrong. Admit what you're doing wrong. There's a guy, I'm not going to mention his name, just got a new game console, and he's humbly admitted that has been an issue with eBay in the game console. He just can't wait. Whatever the case scenario will be, my imagination is he just can't wait to stop doing eBay so he can go play his video game, right? And I did that same exact thing, and I sold my console. Now, you don't have to go to that degree, but I know me. If it's there, I'm going to play it, right? So I just eliminated that. I did that. That is I practiced humility there and said, you know what? It was fun. The month and a half I had it, 2 months I had it, but it had to go. I just made another video not too long ago talking about our side-by-side. It was fun the 4 or 5 months we had it, but it was pulling me away from doing what I should have been doing throughout the day. So I eliminated them for me. Now, I'm not telling you to eliminate your toys. I'm not telling you to eliminate your downtime and fun time. But if you can't prioritize your priorities in front of your playtime, get rid of your playtime shit. Get rid of it until you are humbly mature enough to have time for them set aside and making sure that your obligations are done. For an example, right now, I took my fiance to her dad's house. She told me this a few days ago. I really love going to visit my father-in-law. His mind thinks a lot like we do. We get on politics. We both clash ideas back and forth. We have a generally awesome adult conversation, and we're both open to each other's viewpoints. You can't ask for better. I love that, right? I absolutely love my father-in-law like he is my father, right? And today I didn't have my items done in time. So after we left the gym, I had to take my fiance there, and I had to practice humility because I wanted to go do that, right? But I knew if I went and did that, I'd be neglecting the obligations I said I would do, right? So I had to give up something. I had to sacrifice something I wanted to do in order to get my items, the video content. I took an oath to myself and my fiance and the channel and you guys and the YouTube channel that I was going to make 2 videos every day for the next 365 days. So to give something up, all right? That is a part of humility, okay? I want to do that. But it is also sacrificing certain things you want to do. Sometimes you're going to have to do that. Now, all juxtaposed, I could have simply woke up at 4 o'clock this morning and had all my stuff done by noon. Unfortunately, I did not do that, okay? So there's always ways around it. If you want to play your video game console, Set a time to do it. If your goal is to list 30 items a day, look, you don't got to do all them items at one time. I used to do split shifts. I'd start at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'd work till 10. I'd go do whatever I wanted for an hour or two. I'd come back, do the rest of my photography, and list until 2 or 3, and I was done for the rest of the day, right? You can do that. You can split up your day. You can do 50 items a day, or you could do 50 items in the morning and 50 items at night. If you really put your mind to it, you could. But you're going to have to practice humility. And how are you going to do that? What? Write down, right? And this is what nobody wants to hear throughout video content is grab a pad of paper and start learning who the fuck you are. I don't think there's anything more crucial, because here, okay, I'm done beating this horse dead. Okay, I'm overdoing it. The opportunity is there for all of you. There's not a single one of you out there that can't do this shit and make it happen. Okay, I know that because I'm nothing special. Okay, so there's not. I'm done beating that horse. I've had enough of that. That is not your issue. Is it going to work for me? Our issues stem from our daily bad habits. What's getting in the way? 99% of the time, we are getting in the way. We are not holding ourselves accountable. Look, it's very simple to want to hold everybody else accountable. He should be doing this. She should be doing that. This person should be doing this. This person should be doing that. But you can't hold yourself accountable. How do I know that? I've done that for a long time. I did that for a long time in my life, and I still struggle with it at times today. Right? I don't want anybody to think that I'm making this video content on YouTube or Facebook and like all my chickens are in a row, right? They are not. I'm a firm believer the more you grow, your chickens will never be in a row. Your chickens are never going to get perfect. Are they going to evolve and get better throughout time? Yes. Throughout your journey, though, if you're growing, your chickens are never going to be in line perfect. They're never. You go talk to a company that's doing $100 million in sales and ask them if they have zero problems. They have 100 million times the problems that we have right now. Okay, they always have problems. Nothing is ever going to run efficiently and smooth and just the way you perceive it to be every single day, 365 days a year. If you believe that, that is a false perspective, and it will never happen for you. It'll never happen for me, and it'll never happen for any other than 8 billion people in this world. Okay, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Always something. For example, you look at one of the biggest cell phone companies in the world, Apple, the iPhone, right? Right now, there's more than 5 billion people that have an Apple iPhone. 5 billion, did you hear me? There's only 3 million more people on Earth. That is a seriously large amount of people have Apple devices, okay? There's problems with Apple. It is an amazing phone, guys. It is probably, I'm a Samsung guy, but it doesn't matter. It is probably the best phone with the best features out there in the world. But something's going to malfunction. Something's going to go wrong in one of them, 1 million of them 5 billion phones. I guarantee it. Something's going to go wrong in the company. They're going to have to let somebody go. Somebody's going to get sued. Something's going to happen. It's probably one of the most successful companies in the world, right? But something's going to go wrong. And what do they do when that happens? Do they just throw it up and say, okay, fuck Apple, I'm done? And the reason I brought up Apple is because I watched a very inspiring movie last night, Jobs. If you haven't watched that movie, which I'm sure almost anybody that's ever watched Netflix has watched that movie now, but I have not. And my mind thinks a lot like his. I am not saying I'm sitting here being Steve Jobs, but I can relate with that man. Like, I think like that man. I've felt the body language of people that are saying I'm overworking, I'm doing too much, I'm not having enough of a social life. I feel what that man was feeling, okay? And I still believe I'm doing the right thing, right? But what I'm trying to get you to realize is it doesn't matter where you're at throughout your journey. Practice humility. Humble yourself enough to write down where you're lacking. If you don't know where you're lacking, you'll never grow. You're not going to know what needs work. If you don't know what needs work, what do? You get frustrated. You get irritated. You throw shit. You toss shit. You get pissed off. You yell at the wrong person. Okay. Am I mistaken when I say that? Right? If you have no idea of what's going wrong in your... Now listen to me. If you started a week ago, anything I'm saying in this video right now, use it for future reference, because right now you're going to be a fucking hot mess anyways, because you're not going to know what's going on. You're probably not going to know the platform that good. You're not going to know if the items you're getting are actually going to sell. You're kind of playing guesswork with a little bit of research, right? We've all done that. We've all been there. But it is truly practicing humility. Admitting when you're wrong is the strongest thing. This is why people don't want to practice humility. They think being wrong makes you weak. I believe this stems from the whole every kid in sports gets a trophy, even 30th place. Now, that might sound far-fetched, but what it did, a lot of people in the younger generation, they're afraid to fail, okay? And I'm here to tell you, if you are afraid to fail, you're never going to be self-employed. You're never going to make it long enough. You're going to go somewhere that's comfortable. Okay, I know I can go into Walmart and stock these shelves and come home and get a paycheck. Right now, I'm not saying the parents that put it together and said, hey, every kid deserves a trophy was wrong, because your kid was coming home crying because they lost. And I get the whole just behind it, right? But it messed a lot of shit up for kids. It messed a lot of shit up for even my generation. I'm 41 now. And that stuff, I want to tell you, when I was in middle school, there was no such thing as this fucking 6th place trophy or an 8th place. There was 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And if you weren't in any one of them, you were a loser. You lost, right? You had to suck it up and get better. When you're getting a 19th place trophy, that is, it's not making you feel like you have room for growth. You got a trophy just like everybody else. Just one person says number 1 and mine says number 19, right? So what I'm trying to get at is being okay with where you're wrong is your strength. It's your strength. If all you're doing is focusing where, now I'm not telling you not to focus where you're good at, because do that for sure. But if all you're doing is thinking about the things you're good at on eBay, and why isn't my eBay sales increasing? I'm doing the photos right, I'm doing this right, but I'm not doing customer service, and I'm sending my packages in late, and my packaging looks like shit when the customer gets it. It looks like some 4th grader wrapped it up with freaking bubble wrap, right? And all this other shit, and you're not focusing on that area at all. And you can't admit that needs help, then you're never going to get to the next level. I'm not saying my packages are perfect, but from the day I started to what they look like now when they go into a poly bag is 1,000% better. No, mine is not sealed with a heat press or nothing like that. It's still sealed with tape. But I can tell by my feedback, because customers say very carefully wrapped. Very well wrapped and took care of. Put pride in his packaging or her packaging. Actually, because I sell women's clothes, 90% of my customers think I'm a female, and I let them go ahead and think that. Oh, well. Look, there's no reason for them to think that I'm a male. Why? That might actually change my customers. They might be like, oh, I ain't buying for no man. I'm just saying, in general, right? There's no need for them to know that I'm not. So yeah, oh, thank you. They're like, thanks, sweetie. I'll be, you're welcome, sweetie. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever, right? Or I've had another customer even go to the extent of, girl, I don't know how you could sell such a beautiful blouse. I would never let this leave my closet. My first initial thought was, I'm not a woman, I'm actually a man, and this is how I make a living. But how good would that a message? I just said, hey, you know what? I've ordered enough times, and I want to pass on the love to somebody else. Simple as that. That woman's been a repeat buyer now for the past 8 months, and she still thinks I'm a woman. Oh, well, you know what I'm saying? Like, I talk to her like I'm a woman. Oh, well, it actually kind of makes it fun for me. But anyways, what I'm trying to get at is the humility. Now, is that wrong or right? I don't know, guys. I don't know if that's wrong or right to do. It's not like I'm sitting on here having a 45-minute conversation with the woman on Messenger about my nails getting done or nothing like that, right? Because I don't do that. I am professional. I'm blunt, punctual. I get to the point and I end it, right? I've been trying to do that more in my videos, but you guys see I still get sidetracked. Why? Because I'm not perfect. And I'm trying to practice humility more. And I know that's a bad part of a lot of my content, is I get sidetracked from the main point. I understand that. I get that. I've had a lot of people tell me that, right? My fiance included. So, learn to practice humility and learn to write down what areas. Listen, it is that simple. 20-cent pen, 99-cent pad of paper. Oh, I don't respond fast enough. 16 of my packages were late this month to the post office by an hour. Um, uh, say I'm going to list 20 items, but usually I only get 16. Practice humility. Write them down. Now you have something to start working on. Now you have something to put your focus on. Okay, if I say I'm going to do 20, damn it, let's do 20 for the next 90 days. Okay, if 16 of my packages were late to the post office this month, let's turn that down to 8. All right? Okay, if I don't respond to my customers soon, what's up, Vic? If I haven't responded to my customers, let me set a time at 9 a.m., 3 p.m., and 9 p.m. to make sure I'm interacting with my customers, right? Set that schedule down. Do that for the 90 days. And without doubt, you will gain progress on your eBay journey, right? A lot of people have a problem getting the top-rated seller because of something simple and it's something that little and something that stupid, right? It is something so minuscule that all you would have to do is make sure your inventory system's just a little bit better so you don't got to cancel those 6 items that sold this week. Okay. Why do I know that? Because I've done that. Matter of fact, in my past, I have lost top-rated seller exactly for that reason, because my inventory system wasn't what it is today, right? And I had to cancel 6 orders. Let me tell you what happens when you cancel 6 orders in 2 weeks. You lose your wherever you're at, whether you're above average or whether you're a top-rated seller or whether you're an elite seller, whatever it matters, or whether you're going backwards. That is a hard one to get out of, especially if you have not a lot of items in your inventory. If, for example, Vic had $600, Vic, right there too. Simple as a day late to the post office. That is another notch on your belt, man. But Vic had 600 items in his inventory. If Vic cancels 6 orders today, that's 6% of his sales. That's 6% of his inventory is getting canceled. That is a big no-no, right? That's a big no-no. Now, if you have 60,000 and you cancel 6 and you're selling 150 a day, it's probably not going to impact you as much, but I still don't suggest it, right? Top flight reseller, yes. So, what I'm trying to get at is practice the humility that's needed, okay? Just admit when you're wrong. Listen, I'm a man. I totally get it if you're a man and it's hard for you to swallow your pride and say, hey, guess what? This area, I just admitted one the other day. I am 41 years young and my fiance's still holding my hand and holding me accountable. That's pretty embarrassing, actually, if you really think about it. But she's doing it, and I'm okay with it, and it helps me, right? I practice humility for that. I don't cancel nothing, LOL, unless by her ass. I don't either no more. I learned that real quick, right? I will look, if I lost the item, I will find that item in the thrift store in their size before I cancel the item. Might be a day late sometimes. Yep, had that happen too, brother. LOL, maybe a lost item once or twice. Yeah. I learned real quick that canceling your items is probably one of eBay's top 3 pet peeves. If you say that shit's in your store and somebody purchases it, and it might, you got to look at it this way, right? It might be somebody that finally got the gall up to believe in eBay enough and purchase something from your store, and you cancel it. That one cancellation could leave a bad taste in that person's mouth, and that person go around and tell 10 of their friends that eBay's a bad experience, and those 10 are going to go tell 100, and those 100 are going to go tell 1,000, and those 1,000 are going to reach millions, and it'll spread like wildfire, okay? I tore apart my storage room all night for a $4 8-track. LOL, still couldn't find it. Dude, yes, you do have a clue, because I have been down here. I brought my fiance down here. I'm like, babe, I about fucking had it. Like, she could tell my hair was all sticking up because I was pulling it out, right? I had boxes thrown all over the place, man. My downstairs, here's another, here I'm going to practice a little more humility. I'm not that organized of an individual. Do I know where every item is in my inventory? Yes. Is box 5021 right next to 4088 where it should be? Nope. It's in different rooms, matter of fact. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about my unorganized. And I have a bad problem with, after I'm done listing, taking 15 minutes to clean up my area. from some of the poly bag that's on the ground, and my scissors laying over here when they should be over here. Do you get the gist? When I'm done, I'm done. Like, I had it. I'm done, right? So I have a tendency of having to go back in the morning and picking up where I left off last night. And I admit that. But, yeah, bro, Vic, I have many of times flipped this. Matter of fact, there was a serious time where, thank God, it was a very common t-shirt. All it was a white Hanes t-shirt, but it was vintage. Oh, my God, I didn't think this would ever be possible. It sold. I couldn't find it nowhere the whole evening, and I had to get it shipped that day. I flew. By the second thrift store I hit, I found the exact same size and the exact same condition right on. It wasn't on the shelf. It was on a hanger, but I found it, and I didn't only find one. I found 5, so I bought them all. Now, that'll probably never happen for me again, right? But for something told me, go to the thrift store and look. And that person has now been a customer for 14 months. So it works. I have 4 pairs of scissors. LOL, couldn't find a pair now if you asked me. Dude, I get it. I in the beginning, I got little hooks on my wall right here, actually, where the scissors are supposed to go. They're not there 99% of the time. They're either on my listing board, which is right below me, guys, where I make this video. Below me is my listing board. That's my photography board. They're either over here. I put them over here because when you're listing items, a lot of times when I'm prepping them, checking them in the light, making sure there's no stains, whatever, washing them, drying them, and get them together, a lot of times you don't see some of the strings that you got to cut off, right? Because, if you're selling clothes, you're gonna have a little freaking loose thread somewhere that you're gonna clip off, or the tag will be frayed, and it's best to make it look best, right? So they'll either be over here, or they'll be somewhere here on my listing board, or they'll be over here by my computer. But there's days, and you know what? That actually slows you down. It really does. Oh, it always starts out nice and organized. LOL. After 3 listings, shipment is all gone. You know what? You know what's kind of funny about that? You say that, Vic. I just made a post the other day. It was a relationship post. And I basically said, hey, look, man, the first 90 days of you meeting and hooking up with somebody, just get to know it in the back of your head. That's all fake, man. 90% of that shit is all a front and some mask you put on to impress somebody, right? After 90 days, you find out who the real person is, right? You ever see that people, they move in together, like the second month in, the second weekend, they're moved in together. 3 weeks later, they're like, who in the fuck are you? Same thing, right? Same thing. That's the same thing. That happens. And it happens a lot. People will rush into a relationship. Oh, this is the one. This is the one. This is the one, right? They go home. They tell mom. They go tell dad. They get married. In not even a year later, they're sleeping in separate rooms for the next 19 years. That shit's fucked up, man. That's not a relationship, man. It was a hookup that should have never kept going. You know what I'm saying? Because you actually didn't know who the person was. And that's not bad shit. I did the same thing. What, you think I'm going to bring my... Do you think I'm going to bring my worst game to a date? Why the fuck would you do that? You're going to bring the best you possible, right? And then the comfortable you comes back out and plays. And they're like, whoa, where'd that attitude come from? Like, what the fuck is that, right? And all that shit happens. 8 years with my wife, and I'm still finding out new things. Exactly. I am not 8 years in, Vic. This will be our 5th year. We know each other pretty well. But I bet you there's some things, if my fiance knew, she might not be my fiance today, right? But now she just deals with it, right? I can't say that about her. She's a very good woman, and I'm not just saying that because I'm on video, but is there things about her that irritate me? Sure. Is there things about my own dad that irritate me? Sure. Like, is there something that irritates me about my sister and brother? Yeah. Like, I don't think 2 people can get together and not eventually find something that, like, what the fuck did you just say? Like, what was that about? Like, you know what I'm saying? There's no 2 people that get together that just, oh, yeah, I agree. Oh, yeah? Why you think just like me? That don't exist. Everybody's uniquely different, right? Everybody has different beliefs, morals, ethics. So if you ever think you're going to get in a relationship and they're just... It is important to look for people that share some of the interests in you. But, let's face it, a lot of times that don't happen these days, right? I got blessed. I really did. I truly did. Matter of fact, I'm not going to put all our business out there, but I was up to no good in the beginning. I was still ruining my life. I'm not going to put her business out there. But we balanced each other out, and we made it work. So That's awesome. So yeah, to be humble enough to admit where you're wrong. And you're right, Vic. My first 6 months of reselling, man, I could find everything. And I'm not saying I can't. I just got enough pens where there's a pen everywhere. I just go and I buy a bunch of these, right? I go to Walmart, I buy these. I got them everywhere. I got one at my packaging station. I got one at my listing station. I got 16 over here on my listing station. You know what I mean? I just got enough where there's one everywhere I look, right? But I still got to buy these every month. Why? Because I don't know where the hell they wind up. I don't know where they go. So could I be better organized? Absolutely. Hell yeah, I could be, man. I got a lot of room for growth. Jeff puts up with my shit. Jess does. Couldn't ask for a better wife, right? I agree, bro. I'm very here's me. If I say I'm gonna do something and I'm gonna do it, right? Like, I told my fiance I love her. I'll be with her forever, and nothing could jeopardize that. I hold true to that though. But you know what? I also hold true to I'm working from fucking this time to this time. And unless somebody's dying, I don't want no interruptions. Right? Like, don't come down and don't come fuck my mojo up, right? And I'm stern about that. When I go to the gym, I'm not in there for social hour. I'm in there to brutally break my body down. And she knows that. But sometimes she still, and I got to take my earbuds out and be like, what? Oh, okay. But you know what I'm saying? So like, she puts up with my shit, man. Let's just face it, man. There's no two people that are exactly alike. I'm just glad she deals with me. But seriously, guys, I got to wrap up this video. I got to get back to work. I got a lot of my items done, but I'm not all done. And I took my fiance to her dad's house, so I could work. But this is part of my work now, guys, making 2 videos every day for you. If you didn't check the one out earlier today, it was basically predicated on spring fashion if you sell women's clothes, all right? And a little bit of perspective. The first 4 or 5 minutes of the video was talking about perspective, right? And the rest was talking about spring 2023 women's fashion for any of them resellers out there that sell women's clothing. And this one I wanted to really just express humility. How important it is. Victor just practiced humility, not on eBay, but with his wife. He admits where he's wrong, and that it takes humility, and you know what it takes? Maturity. That's what it takes. If you want to get mature, when you start getting mature in your eBay journey, you start being okay with admitting, hey Vic, man, I'm fucking up right here, bro. Hey Vic, I'm fucking up with my consistency. That's gaining maturity in your eBay journey, because if you don't identify it, you'll keep ignoring it like it doesn't exist, but it really does exist. So be humble. Humble yourself enough to know, okay, look, we all know where we're backsliding. We all know what we're neglecting. We all know what we're procrastinating on. You don't need nobody to point that shit out. All you got to do is write it down, man, and deal with it. I fuck up daily. Oh, well, got to keep on going. Yeah, and that's the thing where I was talking about eighth place trophies, how detrimental that is to the younger generation. Is the younger generation, everybody's afraid to fail now. You ain't never going to get anywhere without failing. This whole generation of people, and I'm not talking about only younger, I'm talking about myself too, right? I was afraid of failure a big majority of my life, and anymore, I'm just like, fuck it, I bumped my head. Hey, look, nothing's killed me yet at 41 years, and a whole lot of shit should have, okay, that I decided to put in my system. A whole lot of shit, and environments I chose to put myself into should have killed me, okay? I served almost 10 years in a state penitentiary. Hello, people dying there all the time, okay? And they're not dying on a nice manner, okay? They're brutally getting their throat slit, whatever, shanked, you name it, right? So you have to be okay with failure. Matter of fact, if you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. I used to say that in all my videos in the old group. If you're not failing somewhere, you ain't pushing hard enough. If you're just kind of skating under the radar and nothing's going wrong for you, I strongly suggest you to up the pressure on yourself. And people say, well, I don't want to work in an environment that there's pressure. Go to a 9 to 5 then. Look, and I'm not saying anybody's 9 to 5 is easy, okay? I'm not naive and I'm not being stupid. I totally get everybody's 9 to 5 has difficult challenges. Some have more difficult than others, right? I totally get that. I'm not saying your job's easy. But the pressure of you bringing in your own income is out the window. Your assignment will be given to you at the door when you walk in or when you go into your little morning group meeting. Hey, Victor, we're sending you over here today. Hey, Justin, we're sending you over there today. Victor, you bring 2 shovels, and Justin, you bring the fucking cement bags or whatever, right? Your day's planned out for you. You have a lot less anxiety. They take your taxes out for you. You don't have to worry about that, right? All kinds of other stuff. So if you're afraid to fail throughout your journey, and you might fail in everything I just talked about, taxes and everything, you name it. You might fail in all kinds of other shit throughout the process. They need to scare you. What you should be looking at that as, this is an area, it's going to form me and mold me into a person that I knew I once could become. And this is my real whole reason of even getting into reselling, other than proving to other people there's a way out of poverty. There's a way out of your miserable 9 to 5. And I'm not saying your job, your 9 to 5 is miserable, because you might love yours, and I hope you do. What I'm saying is 87% of the people in the United States, by facts and statistics, dislike what they do for a living. There's options today. You don't have to do that no more. Do you know how many people, if you ever followed the heart attack statistics in the United States, a big majority, more than 50% of heart attacks are caused by people that are working at 95 on a Monday. Why do you oppose that is? Because they've got to go back to something they hate doing and they can't stand it and they can't quit it because they'll lose their house, right? Or they'll lose this or they'll lose that or they'll lose everything, right? So you feel trapped. You feel trapped in this life you don't want to fucking live, man. You will. Keep telling my brother to start, but he won't listen. You can, I mean, here's an old analogy, Vic, you might be able to roll with me. You can lead a dog to the water or a horse to the water, but you can't make it drink, man. You can't make. I've showed him my payouts and everything. Yeah, dude, listen, most people that will either they got comfortable being miserable. Listen, this is a fucked up fact, okay? This is a funny fucked up fact. Most people in life that you're seeing smiling at you every single day, you say, hey, how you doing? They say, wonderful. That's a whole crock of bullshit. They're not, okay? I'm going to give you an example why. Negativity outweighs positivity times 10. People feed into negativity more. If everybody's life was hunky-dory and I'm doing amazing, as they say at the gas station as you're walking by, right? If everybody's life was that, there wouldn't be so much people feeding into drama and negativity that's pumped out through CNN, through a whole bunch of other fucking... I can't go there because they'll eliminate my video off YouTube. But anyways, it's facts. People feed into negativity because there's things in their life that they don't like, so they feed into that, right? Don't let that feed into your eBay journey. Not everybody, I know my content everybody's not going to relate with it. They're not going to like something about me. But if I took that one small thing, like maybe you're one small failure on eBay, and you let it just enable you all up and grab you all up and swallow you and make you quit, so what? I've had people give me shitty comments on YouTube. I've had people message me like, dude, your shit sucks, man. Oh, well, so what? It's somebody's opinion, right? You can't let that affect you. You're not going to be everybody's cup of joe. You're just not. Look, you know what? There's a whole lot more people out there, I think, that I would rather not be around than people out there that I would like to be around. I mean, that's just truthful. I'm a truthful person. He said he ain't got nothing to sell. I told him to sell anything. Everything has value. Take the money and go thrifting. I agree with you, Victor. You know, there's a lot of people that say, be real careful on what you're purchasing. I get that too, right? Don't be a dummy. You know, I said it many times before. Don't go grab your dirty sock out of the dirty laundry and try to list it. Come on, man. Some fluke shit might happen where some weirdo might buy it or something like that. And if you got a fetish over socks, man, I'm not calling you a weirdo. I'm just saying I wouldn't sell your socks, okay, unless they're brand new, right? I would do that. But I have found we started decluttering a small business last year. I think we only had maybe, 10, 12 accounts. Not many, guys. It was the first year, so I was happy with anything extra, right? It was very small. But throughout that process, we sold basically everything. You can't even imagine the stuff you find when you clean people's houses. Like, everything. Okay, in the one of the houses we got into, I made a video about it in my last group. I probably found $100,000 worth of women's clothing. This woman was wealthy. She had a 10-bedroom house. It was in the $1 million market, right? And we got to declutter her house, which took us 7 days of me being there and my fiance being there when she could, which was a lot, right? It took us 7 days of 8 to 10 hour days. It was she was a rich hoarder, okay? Now, out of all the clothes, I'm looking at the clothes as I'm going in there, and the guy's like, is that going to be a good enough payoff for you? And I'm looking at him, and I'm like, I just don't know, man. My fiance's like, there's a bunch of them, baby. I mean, they were stacked to the ceiling, half of them brand new tags on. I'm like, I never heard of any of these brands. Like, I don't know, babe. I don't know. And then I went and I started finding some cashmere and some things like this. I said, you know what, yeah, it's going to work, right? And 90% of her clothes that I've been listing has been selling, right? This is stuff that if somebody would have said, here you go ahead and list it, I probably would have said, no, I'm not going to waste my time doing that. It's selling every day. It is selling every single day. So I do strongly believe everything has a value to somebody. Now, if you want to be really efficient and you want to hit a broader span, we'll find something like clothing that, women and men both buy a lot of it, right? If you think you're going to get into like antique stuff, I'm not discouraging you from that. There is a small group, actually it's pretty big, people that collect antiques, whether it's antique teacups, antique freaking photography, antique anything, right? But your scale with that, I don't believe is going to be as big as somebody with a clothes business. But it might be better for you. You might not have to have as much in your inventory, right? So it could work out anyway. But yes, I believe Vic, every excuse he had, I had the solution. But he still won't. It's frustrating. Don't let it frustrate you, Vic. You know how you do it? With massive success, dude. Just massive success. You already showed him his antique car tags have insane value. You know what? I've heard of that. When you're talking about car tags, are you actually talking about... Elaborate on that, because I don't want to just jump to conclusions. Car tags. Vintage car tags. Now, you're not talking about the serial number. That's usually on the dash, somewhere in the glass, right? Like car tags on the back. License plates. Like a license plate. Vintage license plates? If that's what you're talking about. Or are you talking about the actual, like the logo that says GMC or Bentley or whatever? Years ago, every car they ever made had hood ornaments. I have a few from 1918 and 1947. So they're not license plates. They're more the tag, the car, the Chevy, or whatever it said, Ford, Model T. That type of stuff, license plate. All right, that works too. See what happens when I assume I go all over the place. But yes, there actually, I think, I want to say when I was watching Antique Pickers a couple times, the guys that go all the way around the United States, they actually even go out of the country now too. I think it's American Pickers. They stumbled upon a barn where they bought thousands of them. And they paid a very low dollar value for them. And I know they made a shit ton out of it. I know they did. I mean, they bought thousands of them. And they were all pre-30s, pre-40s, pre-30s. So even if they sold every one for $10, $10,000, I mean, it's ridiculous. No, the actual tag. LOL, like I said. Say the state. Yeah. Okay, the license plate. That's crazy. Where you live, you call it a tag. Where I live, we call it a license plate. Emblems sell great too. Yeah, dude. I remember when I was a young punk kid. Never mind. I'm not going to expose myself. But let's just put it this way. Hood ornaments used to be cool to put on chains. We'll just say that. How about that? Every car back in the day, man, if you were walking around with a Cadillac, a gold Cadillac, I forgot you was a Yankee. Yes, yep, I'm a Yankee. But, that was a thing years ago. When I was in middle school, it was a thing to have like a Cadillac freaking hood ornament hanging from your neck. It was like, ooh, you were doing something if you had that, right? Which, it's ridiculous. But anyways, All right, you guys, love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, or if you guys are in this group and haven't checked the YouTube channel out, Flava Flav, yeah, exactly, bro. If you haven't checked the YouTube channel out yet, it's under Flip and Stoop. I greatly appreciate every one of you. I'm going to stay consistent on this 2 a day for the next 365 days. Why do I say that? Because if I talk a lot about consistency being the most important thing, I got to be practicing it myself. Okay? If you think about it, if you listed 2 items a day for the next 365 days, that's 700 and some items you now have in your inventory. That is substantial. And that could give you some money every night you go to bed. It seriously can. I think one of the coolest things I found out about eBay when I started reselling was having X amount of dollars in my account when I went to bed, waking up, and it was a greater value. My 9-to-5 never did that for me. Now, I'm not saying I'm over here getting rich from eBay, okay? I'm not making millions of dollars a year. That's the goal, right? But I'm waking up wealthier, whether in the beginning that was $20 wealthier, or whether it was $5 wealthier, or whether I wake up today and it's $600 wealthier, or $400. Isn't that something? You go to sleep for 6 to 8 hours. You wake up with $5 extra in your bank account. If you're complaining about that, something's wrong with you, man. Something's wrong with you. It is a great alarm. Heck, so if you think about it, this is something, it's not passive income. So please forgive my videos from 4 years ago where I started, yeah, man, this is all, you want passive income, resell on eBay. It's not passive income. You got to put work in. Passive income is something you ain't touched in a long time and it's still making you money. Okay? Passive income is not eBay. You have to put the work in to get sales, okay? So because you worked from 8 o'clock this morning till noon and your phone makes a sale at 2 o'clock in the morning, that is not passive income because you actually labored to get that up there. It's your boy, Flip and Stoop. I love you all. Once again, if you haven't tuned into the YouTube channel, please do so. Until tomorrow, or you never know, maybe I'll get a bug in my ass later. And I really want to do more of a Q&A thing. I want to do that, but I want to be able to bring people like in it so you can hear other people's voices instead of mine. If anybody knows how to do that shit, let me know.